Good morning, April 6th. It's Spirit Day. Do you have on your St. Jude clothes? I hope so. All right, Jackson is my cameraman. Say hi, Jackson.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we're gonna do two little activities here today. There's a nice big group of you from both classes that I normally have after lunch, and we work on some extra stuff, which is super fun. So you will recognize this little activity. So I'm gonna show you first on here, and then I'm gonna bring a little Easter into it. So if we do these ending sounds and say I do a C at the beginning, it's what? Cat.
Dog.
Cat. Okay. But what if I put a B? Now it's bat.
Bat.
Okay. What if I do an R? Now it's
Bat.
rat. Thank you, Jackson, for sabotaging. Okay. So, and you'll see I have other ones on here. A-D, U-N, A-N. You could do I-N. Any of those kind of ending blends. So now, here's the Easter part. Find an Easter egg. You might have to put a little bit of vegetable oil on it so it doesn't squeaky when you do this. So now, if you do all your blends on one side, so you have UN, so that says bun. Well, what if I spin it and now it says fun? What if I go this way and now it says pun? Okay, now what about here? We have fad. If we spin it, it can be bad. Pad. Jackson doesn't like this activity, but I found it on Pinterest and I thought it was cool.
What's the definition of pad?
Like a pad of paper. All right, so anyway, so you can play around with that at home with different, you can use a dry erase marker instead of a permanent marker if you like that better. Okay, on to Easter egg dyeing. So I was looking on Pinterest and they recommended maybe dyeing Easter eggs with shaving cream and food coloring. But that seems gross because you eat them. Then it said, well, how about whipping cream, Cool Whip, and food coloring? I tried that, didn't work so well. So I saw this third one. Now you may already have kits from the grocery store and that's fine. If for some reason that has slipped your mind and you need to dye some eggs at home, you can try this. It's just oil, like vegetable oil, canola oil, doesn't matter, water and food coloring. So these have been kind of hanging out for a little bit, but I'm gonna do just step by step here and then we'll reveal these and see how they are. All right, you're gonna start 2/3 cup water. Okay. You got that, Jackson?
Got it.
Exciting stuff. Okay. We're going to do 12 drops of food coloring. I already have blue and green taken care of, so let's do 12 yellow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Thank you. And let's do red. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of oil in each glass.
One.
Thank you, Jackson. 2.
2.
1.
Rat.
2.
Fun.
Thank you. You seem to be confusing our 2 activities. Okay. Now, stir, stir, stir.
That was only stir.
Stir, stir, stir. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Put your eggs in.
Eggs in.
10 minutes. Got it? Okay. So let's check and see. There's no vinegar with this, so they may not be as miraculous as the ones you're used to. But let's rub it off, get rid of the excess oil.
10 minutes sure went fast.
Thank you. So here's my green one. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. Here's one I did yesterday as my practice one, my reddish one. All right, let's check the blue one. Rub, rub, rub.
My Easter eggs were better.
How's that? Isn't that cool? So we're gonna give, you won't see these, but just imagine how beautiful they're gonna be once I do 10 minutes. All right, stay tuned for the book. All right, welcome back. Just to recap, because we had a couple days of green eggs and ham. So Stanley is still flat. He's helping Mr. Dart at the famous museum who has had some famous paintings go missing. So they are at the famous museum and he says, it's time for you to put on a disguise. I already thought of that, Stanley Lambchop said, and I bought one. My cowboy suit. It has a red bandana that I can tie over my face. Nobody will recognize me in a million years. No, Mr. Dart said. You will have to wear the disguise I have chosen. From a closet, he took a white dress with a blue sash, a pair of shiny little pointed shoes, a wide straw hat with a blue band that matched the sash, and a wig and a stick. The wig was made of blonde hair, long and done in ringlets. The stick was curved at the top, and it too had a blue ribbon on it. In this shepherdess disguise, Mr. Dart said, you will look like a painting that belongs in the main hall. We do not have cowboy pictures in the main hall. Stanley was so disgusted he could hardly speak. I will look like a girl. That's what I will look like, he said. I wish I had never had my idea. But he was a good sport, so he put on the disguise. All right. There's Stanley. He looks like Little Bo Peep from
He does look like a girl.
Toy Story. He does.
Yeah.
But he's a sport, so he'll do it. Back in the main hall, Mr. Dart helped Stanley climb up into the empty picture frame. Stanley was able to stay in place because Mr. Dart had cleverly put 4 small spikes in the wall, 1 for each hand and foot. The frame was a perfect fit. Against the wall, Stanley looked just like a picture. Except for one thing, Mr. Dart said. Shepherdesses are supposed to look happy. They smile at their sheep and at the sky. You look fierce, not happy, Stanley. Stanley tried hard to get a faraway look in his eyes and even to smile a little bit. Mr. Dart stood back a few feet and stared at him for a moment. Well, he said, it may not be art, but I know what I like. He went off to make sure that certain other parts of Stanley's plan were taken care of, and Stanley was left alone. It was very dark in the main hall. A little bit of moonlight came through the windows, and Stanley could just make out the world's most expensive painting on the opposite wall. He felt as though the bearded man with the violin and the lady on the couch and the half-horse person and the winged children were all waiting as he was for something to happen. Time passed and he got tireder and tireder. Tireder? Anyone would be tired this late at night, especially if he had to stand in a picture frame balancing on little spikes. Maybe they won't come, Stanley thought. Maybe the sneak thieves won't come at all. The moon went behind a cloud, and then the main hall was pitch dark. It seemed too quiet, too, with the darkness. There was absolutely no sound at all. Stanley felt the hair on the back of his neck prickle beneath the golden curls of the wig. Creak! The creaking sound came from right out in the middle of the main hall, and even as he heard it, Stanley saw in the same place a tiny yellow glow of light. The creaking came again, and the glow got bigger. A trap door had opened in the floor, and 2 men came up through it into the hall. Stanley understood everything all at once. These must be the sneak thieves. They had a secret trapdoor entrance into the museum from outside. That was why they had never been caught. And now, tonight, they were back to steal the most expensive painting in the world. He held very still in his picture frame and listened to the sneak thieves. This is it, Max, said the first one. This is where we art robbers pull a sensational job whilst the civilized community sleeps. Right, Luther, said the other man. In all this great city, there is no one to suspect us. Ha-ha, thought Stanley Lambchop. That's what you think. All right, if you look, they're coming up the trapdoor in the floor. All right. The sneak thieves put down their lantern and took the world's most expensive painting off the wall. What would we do to anyone who tried to capture us, Max? The first man asked. We would kill him. What else? His friend replied. That was enough to frighten Stanley, and he was even more frightened when Luther came over and stared at him. All right, here they are sneaking around. This sheep girl, Luther said. I thought sheep girls were supposed to smile, Max. This one looks scared. Just in time, Stanley managed to get a faraway look in his eyes again and to smile, sort of. You're crazy, Luther, Max said. She's smiling, and what a pretty little thing she is. That made Stanley furious. He waited until the sneak thieves had turned back to the world's most expensive painting, and he shouted in his loudest, most terrifying voice, Police, police! Mr. Dart, the sneak thieves are here! All right, there they are. The sneak thieves looked at each other. Max, said the first one very quietly, I think I heard the sheep girl yell. I think I did too, said Max in a quivery voice. Oh boy, yelling pictures. We both need a rest. You'll get a rest, all right, shouted Mr. Dart, rushing in with the chief of police and lots of guards and policemen behind him. You'll get arrested, that's what. The sneak thieves were too mixed up by Mr. Dart's joke and too frightened by the policemen to put up a fight. Before they knew it, they had been handcuffed and led away to jail. The next morning, in the office of the chief of police, Stanley Lambchop got a medal. The day after that, his picture was in all the papers. Look at that. Hero.
Hero.
Hero. All right. That's the end of chapter 4. See you tomorrow.